just a disclaimer before the beginning. This is not a tutorial. This is just me swapping out the motherboard. You are welcome to follow along. I am not responsible for any damage that you do. So, enjoy.
Alright, so once you take out the battery, you don't really need a spudger tool to pull the top of that off. It's an option. Just make sure it's off, because this Chromebook's bricked, so I don't really have to worry about that. I mean, I do, but take that off. As you can see, this is the whole motherboard I gotta take out. Let me grab my... Alright, much better view. I've got the battery out. When you put the when the battery comes in, there's these 4 screws right here. See the 4 screws? One is, I believe, to be like right here on these arrows, and then right here on these. But once you unscrew those, you can lift the battery up, and it'll be on these prongs, and you can pull up on it. But do it easy though, because you don't want to break it. So next step is, I'm going to take this out. Watch out, because this has a lever you have to pull up. As you can see, it has a lever. You pull up on the lever, pull easy. As you can see, that takes out. And there's these screws on the shield. Oh, before we do the shield, you want to lift up this prong right here and take out the trackpad thing. Not take out the trackpad, but take out the trackpad connector. And then we want to lift this up and pull out, I believe this is our keyboard connector, and then pull this out, and this is our graphics, Wi-Fi, all that stuff. So you unscrew this shield right here. Let me make sure the camera is doing right. Yeah, see the shield right here, we gotta unscrew that. And what I'm hoping to do is copy the BIOS from the other motherboard to here, because I got a new motherboard right here. This one is a 2 gig memory. And this one, well, this one's a 2 gig of RAM, 16 gigabyte. But this one I'm going to put in is a 4 gigabyte memory of RAM, and we're going to hope it works. It should work. These Chromebooks are really made cheap, so I really like Chromebooks. I'm more of a Windows user, or a Mac. Make sure you also disconnect your sound here. Alright. Alright, disconnect that. And what you want to do, oh, don't forget the screw either. Once you get this screw out, you're more than safe to pull out the motherboard, but gentle, because all these components in here is fragile. Okay, our components are out. What we want to do is, I'm pretty sure we're able to pull out, oh, also another screw, yay.
Well, good news, all these screws you really can't get mixed up because they're all the same size. So, alright, now we want to take out our motherboard, as you can see. But you don't have to do this step, you're just taking out the motherboard, but I'm going to. By the way, the right protection screw is right there. So, I'm just going to take off the heatsink, which are these screws on the back, all of them. And I'm going to lay them on this gum racket. So I must unscrew. Oh gosh. I've ordered this new motherboard off eBay. Yeah. Bricked Chromebooks are easy to do. Well, not easy to fix, but they're easy to brick. So you gotta be careful what you do on them. As you can see with mine. You gotta be extra careful. Get that screw out and lay the screw right here. And there's another screw right here. I don't know if you can see me, but you can see that all of them, the orange dots are all the screws. So yeah, I'm going to get all the screws out of this motherboard, which is what you have to do if you want your machine to be cool. As you can see, there's no thermal paste on these machines because they're not really hard. That's still a good motherboard, the only problem is it's bricked, so it has no bias. Alright, this is the motherboard we'll be opening up. Caution, there's one. So be careful opening these up. Static energy, everything else. You gotta slide this thing up. Gosh, that's not good. Cut on that side. Be careful pulling this out. If you aren't, you will rip something out of the motherboard. Pull out. There is our thing. So first, what we would like to do and make our life easier is to put on the heatsink. And heatsink is kind of tricky. How do I have it? It's like this, I'm pretty sure. One of these chips that covers up. Pretty sure it goes like this. Be careful finicking with this. This thing is very, very finicky. Yeah, that right protection screw, as you can see, is there. Careful doing this part if you're putting on the heatsink. Alright, where is our little screwdriver? Okay, there he is. These motherboard pieces are on my gum rackets. Screw them easy. You can put a piece of plastic down in the right protection screw, but I would just leave it out because so like if you want to put windows on it, you can. Most of the time on these Chromebook models, there's a bit of gunk. Make sure you get that off on the right protection screw. If you don't, right protection won't work. And I've seen comments of people doing this on this model of this Chromebook. Apparently this Chromebook's really famous, but I've never seen somebody successfully install Windows on it, even though there is a tutorial on how to do it. Okay. Where is my screw? Oh, right there. And then obviously that piece that we're seeing, see, it's a bit loose because of the no right protection screw there. That's no problem. I've carried this around without a right protection screw and it's been working fine.
just know, be careful downloading Windows. Make sure you always make a backup, because it could, anything could happen and go wrong. Or if you ever want to go back to the stock for a moment. Make sure this is on right. As you can tell, there's not really much to hold it down with. Which you can use a computer to flash the BIOS. I have the programmer. I tried once, but it just wouldn't read anything. It was just a nightmare to do, so I just gave up on it. Because I don't really use this computer anymore, because I used to have it as my personal driver, and it was a nightmare because it was so slow playing games that I wanted to play. And yeah, just make sure that goes in. I don't know what happened to that screw. I'm pretty sure I have it in my room somewhere, so. Now, what we're gonna need to do is screw down our motherboard. As you can see, I'm missing some screws because write protection, I wanted to make sure it was fully there. But we can hook up our connectors. As you can see, hook up our connectors. And then this one I've always been scared of is the screen connector. And you've got to be careful with this. This thing could damage the whole machine. But before we put that in, well, not damage the whole machine, but it can if you're not responsible enough. Or if you jab things in. Oh, this one doesn't have that adhesive stuff from this. Huh. Let's see if I can move that other. See this adhesive? I want to see if I can move that other over. I feel like I shouldn't, and just maybe I should, because the protector of it or something. And an arrow pointing to it. Dealing with the motherboard can be rough. Okay, yeah, that stings. Yeah, that's just, I'm gonna have to leave it alone because that won't work. Alright. Just, you know, you could put that on there if you're really unsafe about it or something. Well, me, I don't really care. Well, I do care because I want this to work again, but just screw back your screws. Once that is in, put that in. Make sure all your screws out from the motherboard are in there because you don't want to break anything. You can put a screw here, but I suggest don't if you don't want write protection, just to be safe on write protection side, because I hate write protection on Chromebooks. Like, why is it even a thing? I'm sure most people can agree with me. Our guard back on, it should just slide right on. Like, should hear like at least a click. Yeah, see, hear the click. And we will be able to slide this in. We will screw this in. Make sure that's screwed down. So this 4 GB RAM motherboard should be running things constant. Should help on the games. It should have BIOS. You might have to flash a USB of Chrome OS on this machine, just to be safe. I might want that screw on there. Make sure that's in. That screw's always been a weird one. Yeah, when you're unscrewing this for the first time, you gotta like pry on it. Be careful to not strip the screws from doing that, because it's possible. I stripped one of the screws, but I got lucky by tearing the back of the case off, and it just like popped off. But Some screws just won't unscrew on this machine. It's very old, so you gotta be careful of what you do. It is usable though, so. Got that stuck on there. I didn't notice that. But make sure our connector here, putting on all of our connectors now, because okay, what this one does is very important. What all these connectors do are very important. If you want to use your Chromebook ever again, I put those connectors in. This one's a tricky one. You gotta try to get this one right. Yeah, or you want to have no trackpad, I'm pretty sure. No trackpad. Or I'm pretty sure, like, mouse or something. This is important, too. This is our screen. Right here. Be extra careful sliding it in. There we go. Once it's in, we can push that down a bit. And we can close that pin thing on there. Just be careful with that. And everything looks like it's in. Next step would be putting our battery back in. So once we put our battery back in, we can say we're done. So I'm going to do a time lapse of me screwing this back in. Good news. Well, guys, that is good. The battery's dead, so that means this motherboard has worked, which, great. And we're gonna screw this on, we're gonna get charged up, and we're gonna show you the finished product. So make sure this is popped back on. And if you do want to slam it on easy, do it easy like that, because you don't want to break anything very fragile. Because you will end up breaking something, because this is old technology, because this is, I believe this was made in like 2017. Chromebooks only have like 5 years of support, and I count it as old, in my opinion. But, we may have to update it, but the problem is, I'm a bit afraid to do that. I usually use developer mode because developer mode is just easier, but be careful using developer mode because you can endure the warranty and it can do things, but it's okay to do, in my opinion. Just make sure you back up the BIOS. And we will plug that in, fill our other Chromebook over there that I'm going to fix up and refurbish and give away. So, as you can see, make sure my camera is getting this. Because this is a 4GB RAM, so this will be able to run the most, like, this Chromebook is, I believe, the last supported Linux. This one has the last time it's going to have Linux on it. To be supported by it. What I mean by Linux is the developer mode and stuff you can enable. But what I'm going to do is create a copy and eventually put that motherboard back in or something. This Chromebook's definitely dead because it's not been charged because it's been up there dying and it's bricked.
well, I am going to cut to me booting this machine up. Make sure you pop on the back. Yeah, booting up the machine for the first time. So it will cut to me booting it up. Alright, so this thinks it's a new Chromebook, which it is. I'm going to do this part. Yeah. We'll just accept and continue. Checking for updates. Which, yeah, this motherboard apparently is old. This is what was in the charger. And this is the one I was talking about. These machines, usually most people notice them as a school computer. And I remember we all have these for school. I'm going to browse as a guest to see how this works. Yes. There, this is the last supported software for this machine. Since it has 4 gigabytes of memory, we will watch a YouTube vid. First one that pops up. Yep. There's no account, as you can see, so let's go trying the sellout. No, let's actually try pushing it a little harder. We will go with the 8K Ultra. Alright. It loads way faster. We will try loading HD, 720p. I might have to try another video because, I mean, the speakers work. It is not like 720p 60 frames per second. We're gonna try something else that does not have 60 frames per second. Sellout does not. Downloaded on my old computer. 720p runs fine. What about HD? Hopefully, cross our fingers, HD runs fine. HD runs. It may look a bit laggy because this is a video, a bit the first start out of this movie. It's laggy. But we will be able to see. And also be the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi on this thing is not the greatest. But yeah. At least it runs way faster than before. Yeah. See, movie plays, sound works. You can browse the web. That's it. Well, guys, I got the computer fixed. As you can see, the computer is running, and I've entered developer mode. In my opinion, I like developer mode, but be careful doing it. It can harm your device. You know, download case software you don't even know. But I hope you enjoyed this video today, and taking out the motherboard was pretty fun. It's fun to mess with that. And upcoming videos soon could be the silver Chromebooks that I showed you. I will be trying to refurbish that and paint it maybe red or something. And adding thermal paste, because most Chromebooks don't really have thermal paste, and that's why they get hot. But they're not too hot, they just get warm. But for another future. And add 2 more likes on this video if you want to see me get Windows 10 on this Chromebook. Cheap. Peace.